Any great story has multiple parts: 2, 3, 6, 8, 9. Think about some of your best stories, some of your favorite stories, the movies, the books you read, and you're not satisfied with just one. Well, the story of the Paschal mystery, kind of like that. It's kind of like a trilogy. We've got 3 little parts. The first part is the passion. Now, the word passion really means like to suffer or to endure, and really, Jesus suffers. The first part of the story kind of starts off gruesome and bloody. Jesus suffers for you and for me, and not because, we're terrible, but because he loves us. And so it starts off with him in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he's looking and he sees what's going to happen. He knows what's going to happen. And then he looks at you, and he looks at me, and he loves us. And love flows, and so he does this. Now, the passion endures scourging, and scourging is a way of torture that we don't use anymore. We don't even really talk about anymore. But it was hard. It wasn't easy, but he does it, and he loves us. And so the first part ends not the way we would want, but kind of with a cliffhanger. And so then we go on to the second part, the death. And we're thinking, okay, now this part's going to be great because, the first part was kind of hard. The second part is going to be amazing. Angels are going to come down from heaven. Like, he's going to show how cool he is. And that's not really what happens. See, the second part is Jesus actually dying. And he doesn't die the way that we would want. He doesn't just, fall asleep and wake up the next day in clouds. He doesn't stop it and have, everybody see his glory and how powerful and beautiful he is. No, he continues to look at us, and love continues to flow, and he gets crucified, a humiliating death. And imagine being those 12 apostles. See, they're looking at their hero, they're looking at somebody they believed in, and he died. And imagine somebody you believe in telling you, hey, I've got this, I can beat this, I'm going to win. And then it seems like they lost. See, the apostles were stuck in that point. Afraid, sad, maybe ashamed. Because their hero, their king, seemed to have lost. See, above the cross, at the very top, there was a sign that said, the King of the Jews. And that sign was right. See, Jesus was enthroned. That cross was a throne. He wore a crown. And he wasn't just King of the Jews. He wasn't just the king of those 12 apostles. He was and is the king of us. The king of our hopes, our dreams, our desires, even the king of our sins and our suffering. See, Jesus is king then, and he's king now over everything. And so we get to this third part, and this is where the glory comes in. This is where the cliffhangers end, and we get something great and powerful, the resurrection. Because God doesn't stop there. God doesn't stop at death. God doesn't stop at suffering. God stops at glory and greatness. And so we have this resurrection. Jesus comes back. Just that simple. And it's amazing because the apostles that we were just talking about were confused. And, well, they didn't really believe it. Doubting Thomas was doubting Thomas because he doubted that Jesus came back. Jesus even had to show himself to him. And sometimes we doubt. Sometimes we doubt that our suffering is going to end. Sometimes we doubt that there's something great that God can do with us or in us. But the resurrection is a sign that God can do something greater. See, for 2,000 years, people have been trying to disprove the resurrection. They want to disprove that God is that great. They want to disprove that God is that powerful, and just can't. Because God doesn't do little things. He takes little things and makes them great. And so we have this resurrection. We have this third part where God shows how much he loves us. This part where God shows that he will make us into something new, something great, something beautiful, something better than we could ever imagine that we are. God's greatest dream for us is greater than our greatest dream could ever be. And so we have these three parts, and we call them the Paschal Mystery. And we don't just celebrate these at the Holy Triduum, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday. No, we celebrate these every Mass. We celebrate this as a church every single day. This is who we are. This is what we do. We live a life guided by love, by a God who is bigger than anything we can endure, a God who is bigger than anything we can come across, a God who absolutely is love. And so the Paschal Mystery isn't just something we read about in a book. It's not just a cool story, but it's our story. It's a story about you, about me, and about how much God absolutely loves us, and how nothing, not even death, can keep us away from him.